Hello friends, myself Rakesh Upadhyay. I'm a freelance cricket expert and cricket analyst, and today I bring you a video of the match preview and also the fantasy team for the first T20 that is going to be played between South Africa and Sri Lanka. In this video, we'll be taking on some talking points for both the teams, as well as we'll be looking at the probable playing 11 of both the teams, and also I'll be providing you two teams for your fantasy cricket also. And in that, I will be providing you with some updates and also about some players you can choose for the captain and vice captain, and also I will giving you some players who could be used in your Grand League teams. So and if you're not registered to my Facebook page, then kindly go to the page. You can find the same in the description box of the video, and also you go to my YouTube page and also subscribe and put on the notification on for that, and also for the Facebook page. So whenever I bring such an updated video on this type of matches, you get the notification on it, and you never miss any of this super updates. So now, friends, now moving on to the video. The first I'll be taking on to the talking points of the teams. The first talking point that I feel for South Africa over here is if Ngidi is fit to play. Now, Lungasi Ngidi has been in a tremendous form in for a quite long time for South Africa, and now if he becomes fully fit, then there could be a lot of dynamics comes into the picture in the bowling department of South Africa, because where to fit Ngidi, that will be a big question for South Africa. Now the talking point is the second point that I feel is Miller and Rasivan into the playing 11. Now, as of now, the South African team is looking very much settled, and also they played well into the ODIs against the Sri Lanka. But now it's the time for T20. So we need to see how South Africa can take in Rasivan, who has been in a tremendous form since last almost 6 to 8 months, and David Miller has not fired till now. The Miller, the killer that we know, but he has not fired still. But still, South Africa's he could be an important player in T20 format. So now it will be interesting to see that in what are the options that are available for South Africa if they want to get in Rasivan and also David Miller into the team. Now we will try taking that into the consideration, and I will be looking at the dynamics also, that what dynamics can come into the picture if Ngidi, Rasivan, and also for that matter, if I say David Miller comes into the team. Now, moving on to the talking points for Sri Lanka. For Sri Lanka, the talking point that I feel is Jeffrey Van der Sey and Lakmal into the playing 11. Now, if now the Sri Lankans have called upon Lakmal and Jeffrey Van der Sey to play into the T20s against South Africa, but the big question stands that whom they can replace into the team to accommodate Jeffrey Van der Sey and also to Suranga Lakmal. But still, there is a possibility that Sri Lanka might play on with two spinners also, and maybe they might get in Lakmal if any possibility. Now, guys, let's move on to the probable playing 11 of both the teams, and also we'll be taking into the consideration the dynamics that will come into the picture when they will be picking up that team for today's game. So now let's move on to the first team of probable team that I feel for South Africa for today's game is the first and foremost player is Quinton de Kock. Then I have Reza Hendricks with me. Then Aiden Macron, Du Plessis, Dominic, Pretorius, Philip Weil, Rabada, Nortich, Stein, and Tahir. Now, these are the players that might get selected for playing against Sri Lanka. But now, there's the point that I picked about the dynamics of the team, where if South Africa has to get in some way Rasivan and David Miller to the team, and also if Ngidi gets fit, 100% fit to play the game, then the dynamics also in the bowling department can change up for South Africa quite a bit. So now let's look at and if we feel that who are the players in the current probable 11 that I feel that who can get rested, and maybe Miller. Then Rasivan and Lungi Ngidi play in this first match. Now the options that I feel for this particular game, that if they want in Rasivan and Miller both into the team, then Reza Hendricks could be an option in a place where they can get Rasivan to play the game. and also if they want Miller in to finish the game for them, and they might rest out Aiden Macram and David and get in David Miller. But looking at the team and the current form, that David Miller is not in that great touch as of now. But Aiden Macram has done quite well in the ODI's chances that he has got, and also into the domestic of momentum one day cup for Titans. Now it will be an interesting point to see that how does South Africa look at this and then make the team selection. Now talking about NGD, if NGD is 100% fit to play, that changing dynamics in bowling. Now they have here we have Pretorius, we have Nartije, and we have Stain. These are the three basic options that I feel that where NGD can fit in, and any of this Stain, Nartije, or Pretorius. Any one of them could miss out if they want to accommodate maybe NGD. But looking at these options, I feel because the issue currently the South Africa could face is that Steyn is bowling very well as of now, and bowling with tremendous line and length into in the series and whichever matches he has played, and as well as the same goes for Hendricks Nortje. On basis of his domestic form, he was picked up for South Africa and he has done quite well in this ODI series. So now it will be an interesting point to see that will South Africa stick to the combination of Dale Steyn and Nortje into the fast bowling department, or anyone might get rested and NGD would play. But so this was a basic dynamics that I feel that could come into the bowling and batting department of South Africa into this T20 game. Now if we go to Sri Lanka's team and look at what dynamics their changes can happen over there. So this is the probable 11 for me. Nick Digwella, Sadira Samar Vikwarama, Kushal Mendes, Dhananjay De Silva, Angela Pereira, Kamindu Mendes, Tishara Pereira. Here I have Van der Sey, Jeffrey Van der Sey, Isru Udana, Rasid Malinga, and Asif Fernando. Now, as I was talking, that there could be a change in dynamics if they want to accommodate Akila Dhananjaya and also at Surangan Lakmal. So what options they have got? Now, if we say that Asif Fernando could be a player where Surangan Lakmal can come in, because Surangan Lakmal has an experienced campaigner for Sri Lanka from quite a long time and playing all the three formats for Lanka, and he has been he was facing some injury issues and form also a bit of form, because of which he was not picked. But as of now, he's quite fit, and also he has been in a good form into the domestic season also. So I feel Surangan Lakmal could be a pick, and Asif Fernando could be rested, and Surangan Lakmal can come into the playing 11. Now, if we say that, and Van der Sey and I have Akila Dhananjaya, now the big question stands whether to play Akila Dhananjaya or to play Van der Sey. If the Sri Lanka or team feel that they want to give a trial-based run, then they would play in Jeffrey Van der Sey. And if they feel that if they want an experienced bowler who can travel South African batsman, then they might go with Akila Dhananjaya. And there could be a very big or outside chance, you can say, that if they remove this Udana and they can bring in Akila Dhananjaya, and Sri Lanka might play down with two spinners to travel South African team. But this looks a bit dicey, that I could say. But the Sri Lankan team would be more focused on getting in Lakmal and also Akila Dhananjaya into the team. But the question still stands over there that whether to rest Asif Fernando and Van der Sey and play Akila Dhananjaya and Surangan Lakmal. So these were the basic teams that I feel the probable 11 and the talking points that I have. Now let's move on to the fantasy part. Now those who all are playing Dream 11, then they have a good option that the teams that I'm giving you is as per my knowledge and my understanding and my analysis. But there could be a change that the team might come out some different. So guys, do look at the playing 11 and then make your required changes into the team if any of the player is missing out from my given teams. Now for my team 11, I feel that they have a safe zone. So guys, you can go into the safe zone and you can play, and there is also the regular option of 1 hour's deadline. So in that you can use these teams, and you can also mark out your captains and vice captains in that. So guys, now let's move on to the fantasy teams part. That would be quite interesting, I guess so. The first team over here that I have for you is that I have Quinton de Kock in my team. I have Reza Hendricks. I have Samar Vikrama. I have Aiden Macram. I have Dhananjay De Silva with me. I have Cesar Pereira, Domini, Enric Norchete, then Lasit Malinga, Rabada, and I have Stain. This is my first team, guys. Now over here you can see this black color text, and also in this bracket you can see written as GL. So now this tick means the right tick over here indicates that these are the players that people will come in with their captains or their vice captains. Now talking about this GL. This GL is the captain or vice captain options that people will use in the grand leagues. So guys, if you are playing on grand leagues, then do keep in mind this GL markings that I have given. And also if you are playing small leagues or maybe head-to-head league or maybe 3-person league, and you can use this tick as tick players as your regular captains and your vice captains. Now in team 1, the players that I have given, in that the regular captains that you can pick is you have to Peacock, you have Risa Hendricks, you have Aiden Macron, if you have Cesar Pereira, you have Domini. These guys and these players and these guys are the players who will be who would you look for as your captain and as your vice captains in your team, whichever you pick out. And in that, if this team is to be played for GL, then I guess Samar Vikrama, then Nortoche, Malinga, Rabada, and Stain. These guys you can use it as in your grand leagues as your captain and vice captains. So this was the first team. Now looking at the second team that I have for you is that I have Dickwell as my keeper. I have Samar Vikrama. I have Risa Hendricks. I have Duplessis. I have Macron. I have Cesar Pereira. I have Dhananjay De Silva, Domini, Malinga, Tahir, and Rabada. So guys, you will be a bit shocked that why I have not picked up Kushal Mendes in this, because Kushal Mendes in Dream 11 it is given in wicketkeeper section, and if I have an option of Dick Vela and I have an option of Quinton de Kock, then it is quite definite that I will pick from this two only. I won't go for Kushal Mendes actually. As per my understanding, that I won't go for Kushal Mendes. So now in this, you can see the red color text. This red color text indicates that these are the regular players according to me. Who would people come in with their captain and vice captain, and over there here you can see written as GL. This GL are the players who people will come in their grand league teams. They will try with this grand league captains and vice captains. Now have a look at this. Now if I tap off my regular players who will come up with their captain and vice captain in this team, could be Dickwella as their regular captain. Then they have Risa Hendricks, Duplessis, Macron. Then they have Cesar Pereira. They have Dhananjay De Silva and Dominic. These are the players who could be a regular pick in the captain and vice captain form. Now, if we look at the GL picks, Samara Vikrama could be a pick in GL. Then you can have Lasit Malinga, you can have Imran Tahir, and you can have Rabada. So these are the players who people would have a tendency to come in with their GL teams. So guys, have a look at these points also, because if you are playing for GL, then this all points could be an important one. Now over here I have written other choices for GL choices. I mean, if there are as I said about the dynamics that could come into the picture for South Africa and for some changes into the Sri Lankan team setup. So this could be the players who could come into the picture. So if you are playing Dream 11, then you have an option to change before the match starts. So guys, have a look at these players also. So if they come into the playing 11, then you could make the changes accordingly. And for my team, if you are playing regular, then in each of your team, you can pick them as your captain or vice captain, maybe as a player also. But picking up as captain, vice captain could be a bit risk, and if you are willing to take the risk, then you can take risk on this some of the players for your team. Now for GL choices, the first one I have is Resiven Dasan with me. I have Asif Fernando. I have Kamindu and Kushal Mendes. Both of them I have kept it as a GL choice. The reason being that how much opportunity will Kushal Mendes get to bat in this format, and how much long he will play. So that's a big question over here. And coming to Mendes is an all-rounder. So it's important that that coming to Mendes, will he come into the batting or how many wickets will he? So that's a big question over here. So I have both of these players in the GL choice. One more I have is Angelo Pereira with me. Then I have Endel Fatlukwa. I have Lungi NGD also as GL choice and Akila Dhananjaya. Guys, this was the these are the GL choices that I feel for today's match. And guys, still I would say that Lunga NGD could come into the picture if he is 100% fit. So if you are picking up your team, and if you feel the same, then guys, do make one or two teams. So in this teams you can make one or two changes and try to get in Lungasi NGD as well, because NGD, if he becomes fit and if he comes into the picture, then it could again make your team much more stronger. So guys, this was my video for the first T20 internationals for you. So guys, if you are not still subscribed to my channel on YouTube, kindly go to my YouTube channel and subscribe over there and turn on the notifications. So whenever I bring up such videos, you can get a notification for it, and also you don't miss it out. And also kindly go to my Facebook page, like that page, and also turn on the notifications for that. So if I bring up such video on that also, so you can get a notification and you can have a look at it. So guys, this was this much for this video. Hope you have all enjoyed and got the specific informations and also the team updates and your team compositions also for your fantasy sports. So have a nice day, and do like and subscribe to my page. Thank you. That's all for all.